First, the headlines. Signed by His Majesty the Sultan, His Highness the Deputy Prime Minister for Defence Affairs receives the Ambassador of the Republic of the Philippines to bid her farewell at the end of her mission in the Sultanate of Oman. In a joint session, the State Insurer Councils discussed the articles of discrepancy in the draft laws of social protection, labour and vital fingerprints. 3 agreements are signed for the prospecting and mining of potash and lithium. Service and development projects in Al-Dakhliya Governorate. Those are the headlines, now the news in detail. Signed by His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, His Highness Sayyid Shihab bin Tariq Al Said, Deputy Prime Minister for Defence Affairs, received today in his office in Muaskar Al Murtafa Her Excellency Imelda Make Panolog, Ambassador of the Republic of the Philippines, accredited to the Sultan of Oman, to bid farewell at the end of her mission. His Highness the Deputy Prime Minister for Defence Affairs thanked the Ambassador of the Republic of the Philippines for her efforts to strengthen bilateral relations between the Sultan of Oman and the Philippines, wishing her continued success. For her part, the Ambassador hailed the strong relations between the two countries, expressing her pride and appreciation for the cooperation she received during her tenure in the Sultanate of Oman. The State and Shura Councils, in their first joint session of the 4th annual fund round of the 7th term of the Council of Oman, discussed the articles of discrepancy in the draft laws of social protection, labour and vital fingerprints. The session aims to come up with unified vision on those drafts referred by the government due to the discrepancy between them in a number of articles, according to the reports of the joint committees that held a series of meetings during the last period in this regard. The session was held under the auspices of His Excellency Sheikh Abdul Malik bin Abdullah Al-Khalili, Chairman of the State Council. The Ministry of Energy and Minerals signed 3 agreements in the mining sector, focusing on prospecting and mining of potash and lithium. This came after the ministry approved new curriculum to develop a mineral sector by preparing concession agreements, included legal, technical and financial aspects to be agreed between the ministry and the investor to be approved as investment arm that drives the mechanisms of managing various minerals ores extracted from the specified concession areas. The agreements were signed from the ministry side by His Excellency Engineer Salim bin Nasser Al-Aufi, Minister of Energy and Minerals. In order to promote a culture of innovation, entrepreneurship and scientific research, the Ministry of Higher Education, Research and Innovation signed a joint cooperation program with the Authority of Small and Medium Enterprises Development. The Ministry also signed agreements with a number of higher education institutions in the Sultanate in order to create a suitable environment for innovation, entrepreneurship and scientific research. The Ministry, through this program, aims to raise awareness about the entrepreneurship ecosystem and the importance of SMEs and startup sector in the Sultanate of Oman, especially projects that are based on innovation, artificial intelligence and advanced technologies. The signing ceremony was presided over by Her Excellency Dr. Rahma bint Ibrahim Al-Mahrouqiya, Minister of Higher Education, Research and Innovation. As part of the development plan of the Governorate of Al-Dakhliya and Governorate's development program, His Excellency Sheikh Hilal bin Saeed Al-Hajri, Governor of Al-Dakhliya, signed a number of agreements to implement a number of services and development projects at the Governorate. The agreement, worth total value of 11 million Omani Riyals, will contribute in enhancing municipal services in addition to boosting economy of the wilayats and the villages of the governorate according to the priorities of the 10th five-year development plan. The agreement included asphalting roads in various wilayas of the governorate, establishing market for fodder in the wilaya of Adam, set up a park in the wilaya of Bidbid, developing commercial areas in the wilaya of Bidbid, Nizwa, Bahla and Manah, awarding tender to establish Nizwa Public Park, implementing dual carriageway Farq Birk al-Mouz in the wilaya of Nizwa, in addition to beautifying entrance of the wilayat of Nizwa. The Director General of Administrative and Financial Affairs of the Ministry of Endowments and Religious Affairs, head of the Omani Hajj mission of the year 1444 Hijrah, revealed the mechanisms for managing the Hajj electronically, the details of the service package in the Mina and Arafat camps, and the mechanisms for selecting members of the delegation of the Ministry of Endowments and Religious Affairs. The number of pilgrims from the Sultan of Oman for this year reached 13,855 pilgrims, with 99% of those who fulfilled all requirements for travel to the Holy Land and 1% on the medical examination. The head of the Omani Hajj delegation said the share of the Sultan of Oman is 14,000 pilgrims, of which 13,500 are for Omanis, 250 Arab residents and 250 non-Arab residents. To cover news bulletin. East mango seasons. People of the Al Aliya village carried out an auction to sell their mango fruits. Welcome back to the news. The basic services sector at the National Committee for Emergency Management organized a workshop under the title Reducing the Impacts of the National Risks on Basic Services. The workshop included 3 work sessions. The first reviewing national risks that impact the basic services sector, whereas the second session discussed the challenges facing managing risks of basic services sector, and the third session tackled the policies and plans of the national risks management. The basic services sector coordinates planning, risk management and emergency response operations between the subsectors of basic services. People of Al Aliya village in the wilaya of Al Awabi in the south of Bulletin Governorate carried out an auction to sell their mangoes. More details in the following report.
Al Aliya village in Wadi Bani Kharous in the wilaya of Al Awabi is renowned for its scenic nature, distinguished geographical location, mild weather and proximity to the Al Jabal Al Akhdar. Besides palm tree orchards, it has various seasonal crops and fruits, one of which is mango. People of Al Aliya village sell mango through auctioning, while the fruits are still on the trees, and the buyers harvest them against a particular payment. This practice is locally known as Tana. The auction date is announced at least a week ahead of the occasion. The tradition brings together buyers, farmers, and auctioneers. They sit under the shades of mango trees or in an open majlis to announce the purpose of the auction and then start the bidding.
This is a traditional way for selling mango trees, and this is actually from 100 years. Initially they do like announcement 1 week before the occasion, and they invite all people, even from the village or outside the village. So then they will gather and they will start to announce for the trees, and who is interested to buy he should increase the price. So the highest price, he will get it.
The prices vary from one tree to another, depending on the type and the size of the mango fruits. This year, the prices ranged from 60 to 250 Omani Riyals.
We have the extreme sour and we have the sweet one. That's the difference between the mangoes we have. Each tree has its own test and each tree has its own buyer, I would say. The attendees were more than that. We have here from Rustaq, we have from Al-Awabi, Wad Ma'awal, all around the areas, like they know, they're hearing about this. Back in the history, there were more than 400 trees in this wadi. But in 1992, there was a big wadi where it took around 200 trees out of the wadi. Now the numbers are reduced, however, the attendees are more. This year, I would say even the prices were more acceptable comparing to the market price, because it has a market price.
Usually, mango fruits are harvested before they become ripe to be used in homemade spices and pickles, or they can also be harvested when they ripen to be sold in the market. Omani people preserve this authentic practice one generation after another due to its significant social and economic values for individuals and the community at large. From Al-Ilya village in the Wilaya of Al-Awabi, Salih Bukhalfan Al-Rahbi, South Al-Batina, Governorate.
With a unique concept that integrates past and present, South Al-Sharqiyya Governorate celebrated the launch of this visual and audio identity, which reflects the facilities that the Governorate has and its contribution in enhancing tourism marketing. The event was presided by His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Masoud Al-Sinadi, Chairman of the Public Authority for Special Economic Zones and Free Zones. More details in the following report.
With a variety of components that are inspired by the Omani architecture and the Omani traditional dress, with some waves that reflects the Governorate plan of adapting the blue economy. These were the main components that helped in designing the new visual and audio identity of South Al-Sharqiyya Governorate.
We were very delighted today to unveil the branding of the government, and indeed this was made through the efforts of young youth from the area. And the branding is very important because it will allow us all to use it as we promote for economical activities. This area in particular, the 5 wilayats, are very diversified.
The identity colors were inspired by the reflection of the sunrise light on the sea, where South Al-Sharqiyya Governorate is considered as the first area in which the sun rises in the Arab nation. The identity consists of 5 colors that symbolize the 5 wilayas of South Al-Sharqiyya Governorate. In addition, the audio identity also came to reinforce the very rich cultural and maritime heritage that the Governorate has.
Today is very important cornerstone because we are creating all the branding guidelines and the branding logo for the government that will help importantly to build all the digital transformation initiatives. It's actually very useful when it comes to identifying the direction and the steer of where the government is actually moving towards.
It was very crucial and vital that every element in the new identity of Sharqiyya South Governorate is derived from the culture itself. Therefore, you will notice that everything in the identity, in the brand new identity, is a reflection of what Sharqiyya South represent. The colors, the movement in the logo itself, it reflects the sunlight that the sun rises on the sea, and you will see the number of wilayats in the Sharqiyya South Governorate reflected also in the logo.
The significance of the visual identity of South Al-Sharqiyya Governorate is stemmed as a civilized project that isn't less than any other development project, because it will help in promoting and marketing the Governorate as an exceptional touristic place through the very unique logo which integrates past and present and demonstrates the different features of the Governorate. Sultan bin Saif Sarai from South Al-Sharqiyya Governorate.
You're watching the Sultan of Oman television. Before tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Assigned by His Majesty the Sultan, His Highness the Deputy Prime Minister for Defence Affairs received the Ambassador of the Republic of the Philippines to bid her farewell at the end of her mission in the Sultanate of Oman. In a joint session, the State Insurer Councils discussed the articles of discrepancy in the draft laws of social protection, labour and vital fingerprints. 3 agreements are signed for the prospecting and mining of potash and lithium. And agreements with total cost exceeding 11 million Omani riyals are signed to implement services and development projects in Al Dakhliya Governorate. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin from all of us here in the newsroom and studios. Good night.